Are you a cloud beginner looking to get your first job in the cloud industry? Well, listen up, because I have spoken to hundreds of aspiring cloud professionals just like you. And here's the shocking truth. Most of them are unknowingly making the same mistakes that keep them from getting hired. The good news is that these mistakes are completely avoidable. Hi, I'm Fayomi, a senior solutions architect with over 7 years of experience in the cloud industry. I'm also the founder of Cloud Career Mentor, where I help aspiring tech professionals break into the cloud industry. Now let's dive straight into today's episode. The first mistake I see cloud beginners make is applying for the wrong cloud roles, specifically applying for the solution architect role. Now I understand why people make this mistake, because most boot camps and online influencers tell you that you could earn 6 figures as a solution architect. Also, you might sit and pass the AWS Solution Architect Associate certification, and this might make you feel like you're qualified enough to be a solution architect. Trust me, this is such a common mistake. But here's the catch. It's actually a trap. Solution architect positions are actually quite senior level roles that need years of experience and a deep understanding of cloud services and infrastructure to be qualified for this role. To be good at this role, you need to know how to gather business needs. You need to suggest the best solutions, and you need to choose between different services based on what their trade-offs are. If you don't have this experience under your belt, applying for these roles will probably lead to no responses from recruiters. I've seen a lot of cloud beginners waste a lot of time applying to solution architect roles and just get rejection after rejection. And I don't want that for you. But don't worry, there's some good news. You can avoid this trap by applying for roles that actually fit your skill level and will help you grow. As a beginner, you need to be applying for roles like cloud engineer, DevOps engineer, Linux administrator, or application support engineer. Basically, any technical role apart from a solution architect role will be ideal for you. The truth is, there are a lot more entry-level roles in the jobs I mentioned than as a solution architect. Another benefit is that in those roles, you get to work with automation tools and learn how cloud systems work together to deliver the services quickly and efficiently. You will be involved in everything from developing and deploying code to setting up and maintaining infrastructure. These are hands-on roles that will teach you the nuts and bolts of cloud tech. And it's a great entry point to build up your skills. These roles are way better suited for someone who's just starting out like you. That'll help build the experience you need to grow and learn. And once you have a couple of years under your belt, then you can then move on to applying for solution architect roles. Here's a post from a cloud beginner that I helped a while back. And if you're listening on audio only, please feel free to check out the YouTube version so you can see his post. But I'm going to read it out now. And this is what he says. Just wanted to share this. I've been applying for solution architect roles for about a month prior to my conversation with Fayomi, and I've had 0 responses. My motivation was sinking. I had many doubts. I wasn't sure if I just wasted nearly a year learning something, which I can't even do, and so on. I had a chat with Fayomi, and basically he suggested that I pause any more certifications and for the time being, forget about solution architect roles because it's a high level role. I think I needed to hear that. So I changed my approach. I started looking for different roles. I adjusted my CV a little and started to think about what I have done so far related to those roles just to put them down. And last week, I've already had 4 calls. One of them was a technical interview, others with recruiters. Now, I don't think I'll get a job just yet, but this gave me a massive boost in my confidence. I'm getting my energy and my mojo back. By the way, only a couple of weeks after he posted this, he got hired as a cloud engineer. So don't make the mistake of aiming too high right away and applying for roles that aren't a good fit yet. Instead, start with these entry-level roles, take your time to grow your experience, and soon enough, you'll see your career take off. By the way, if you're enjoying this so far, make sure you give this video a like. It's a free way for you to support the channel. I really appreciate it. All right, now we've covered the first mistake. Let's move on to the second one. Have you ever heard someone say that you need to be skilled in multiple cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud all at once? Sounds like a smart strategy, right? Wrong. Trying to learn multiple cloud platforms is actually a huge mistake I see cloud beginners make. Here's why. Most employers run their cloud workload on only one cloud platform. If you spread yourself too thin trying to learn all the other cloud platforms all at once, you end up really bad at all of them. Think about it this way. If you broke your hand, would you rather have a doctor who was a hand specialist and spend their entire career learning only hand injuries, or one who has some experience with hands and feet and knee injuries? I'd choose the specialist all day, the one who spent their time learning just about the hand. The same goes for your cloud career. Employers want someone who has deep expertise solving problems within a specific cloud environment, not someone who has a little bit of knowledge across several clouds. So here's what to do instead. Learn the fundamentals of just one cloud provider, focus on becoming really good at that platform, and then once you're comfortable, you can branch out to learning the other technical skills that employers are looking for, like Linux, CI/CD, or infrastructure as code, or Python. Your goal is to then begin deploying these other technologies into that cloud platform that you've been focused on. And this will give you a deeper understanding of how all of these technologies interact with each other. And this deeper understanding will make you a stronger candidate to employers. This is a much more effective way of securing that first cloud job rather than trying to learn AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. By mastering this one cloud platform and adding these additional skills, you set yourself up for success faster and much more effectively than if you spread yourself too thin. So stick with one cloud, dive deep into the essential skills, and that will make you an expert in the field. The third mistake I see a lot of cloud beginners make that stop them from getting hired is this: not having a learning plan. I remember when I was at the start of my cloud journey, I made this exact same mistake. I didn't have a learning plan, which meant I wasted a lot of time jumping from one technology to another with no real strategy. One day I'm learning Python, the next day I'm trying to learn AI, the day after that I'm getting my head around Kubernetes, and after that I'm learning Linux, and it was just a bit of a mess. What I found was that I was putting in a lot of effort and work, but had no real results to show for it. I started to feel overwhelmed and a little bit burnt out. I almost gave up on my cloud journey because of this. But then I discovered a learning plan that provided structure and focus to my learning. I can confidently say that following this plan helped me to get my first job in the cloud industry. And this plan has helped hundreds of other cloud beginners from all over the world achieve the same results. Are you ready to find out the plan that I followed to break into the cloud industry? All right, let's get into it. The first thing you need to get comfortable with is the Linux command line. I believe learning Linux is a prerequisite to improving your cloud skills, as all the other technologies I'm about to mention rely on having good Linux skills. After you learn Linux, then I'd encourage you to learn how to write simple scripts with Bash. Once you feel comfortable with Linux and Bash, you should then move on to building simple projects with AWS. You want to build projects where you get to use the same services as most employers. So you want to build projects with services like EC2, RDS, S3, autoscaling, and Route 53. I have multiple videos on my channel on what kind of projects you can do to stand out to employers, so make sure you check them out. Once you've got these basics down, it's time to learn some advanced scripting and automation tools. Now is the time to learn more about infrastructure tools like Terraform and begin deploying cloud infrastructure using Terraform rather than deploying them manually using the AWS console. You should also learn a programming language like Python because employers love candidates who can program, because scripting and automation is a huge part of the cloud work. Once you've got this under your belt, you should begin creating CI/CD pipelines and deploying applications with them. I know this sounds like a lot of work, but I promise you, if you learn these tools, it will put you in the top 10% of job candidates. If you want access to this learning plan, I've created a free guide that walks you through exactly how you can go about learning these technologies. It's called the 3 Simple Steps to Your First Cloud Job. In this guide, I walk you through a proven formula and framework that you can follow that will make landing that first cloud job easier and quicker. Make sure you download it now. Link is in the description below. The fourth mistake I see beginners make is probably one of the most common in the industry. Everyone talks about certifications as if they're the golden tickets to breaking into the cloud industry. But here's a question. Does collecting all these certifications really help you land a job? Or does it just give you a false sense of security? Look, I get it. The Cloud Practitioner certification is a great starting point because it introduces you to cloud computing basics. And sure, I even appreciate the Solution Architect Associate certification because it goes deeper into those AWS services that you need to know. But after you get those two, you shouldn't really bother with any more cloud certifications until you get a job. Here's the hard truth, and I know it might go against everything you've been told, but employers don't actually care that much about certifications. What they really care about is whether you can actually do the job or not. They're not going to hire you just because you have a certified solution architect associate badge. They're going to hire you because you can show them that you have experience handling real tasks like working with EC2 web servers or writing scripts to automate processes. And at the end of the day, they want to know that you can perform and not just pass a test. So my advice, don't get caught up in getting all those certifications. This ain't Pokemon, you don't have to get them all. Now, while it's nice and they can give you a little bit of an edge to get hired, I want you to focus on gaining real-world experiences. Work on projects that reflect real tasks of a cloud job. Things like setting up cloud environments, automating processes, creating auto-scaling groups. These are the sort of stuff that employers care about, and this is what will truly set you apart from other candidates. Now, if you've been wondering where to find some high-quality cloud projects to help improve your technical skills, which will help you land a job in a crowded market, then why not check out our program at cloudcareermentor.com. Our program is designed to take you from where you are now, which is a complete cloud beginner, to where you need to be, where you will learn industry tools like AWS, Python, Terraform, and build over 20 high-quality projects that will showcase your skills to recruiters. But it's not just about technical skills. We also provide a very well-structured and easy-to-follow learning plan to ensure that you're always moving forward. And we also include regular one-to-one calls with a mentor and expert advice and community support. You'll never feel stuck or overwhelmed. Imagine having the confidence to walk into any interview and show exactly why you're the perfect candidate. Imagine landing that remote job and transforming your life. If this sounds good to you, then check us out at cloudcareermentor.com. Link is in the description. Now let's get back with the show. The fifth mistake that could hold you back from landing that first cloud job is not sharing your progress on social media. Now you might be thinking, why would I want to share what I'm learning? Well, sharing your progress can make a big difference in your cloud career. Let me tell you why. When you apply for a job, the first thing a recruiter is going to do is search you up on LinkedIn or maybe other social media platforms, because they want to see your professional presence and they want to know if you're actually engaging in your field. Here's the thing, if you're not posting about your progress, your projects, or sharing what you're learning, you're missing out on a big opportunity. I'm going to share with you a quick story to illustrate this point. I was once hiring for a role and I had two candidates with almost identical skills apply. Now I could only choose one of them to interview. So I had a look on their LinkedIn profiles, and candidate A had, a very active LinkedIn profile. He was posting about all the things he was doing, and, he's talking about his project. So he had like an auto-scaling project, a CI/CD project. He had all these cool projects he was talking about on his application. On his LinkedIn and social media. Candidate B didn't really have anything on their profile. It was just completely blank. It didn't show anything about what they were doing. Now, out of those two candidates, which did you think I ended up choosing? Well, I ended up choosing candidate A, who was posting regularly. Why? Well, because from his posts, I got to see more of what his technical skills were like. I could see what sort of projects they were doing. I even got a sense of their personality through their writing, their work, their passion for learning, all of that. So if you're not sharing your progress, you're really missing out on a big chance to stand out. When you post about the projects you're working on or the skills you're picking up, recruiters get a sneak peek at what you can do. That little step could be the difference between getting that interview call or being overlooked. Remember, social media is a powerful tool. Don't keep your journey to yourself. Share your progress, and you might be amazed at how many doors it will open up for you. Now let's talk about the sixth mistake on our list, which is not having a mentor. Now this one can slow down your progress a lot more than you might realize. Wondering how the right guidance can make all the difference? Let me show you why a mentor is a fast track to your cloud career. Trying to make it in the cloud industry without a mentor is like setting out on a road trip with no map and no GPS. You might eventually get to where you're going, but it will take way longer and you'll probably hit a lot of bumps along the way. The cloud industry can be overwhelming, especially when you're starting out. So many tools and technologies to learn, so many paths to choose from. It's easy to get lost without someone there to show you the ropes. That's where a mentor really shines. Having someone who's already been there and done that and who's experienced the challenges you're facing can make a huge difference in how quickly you progress. A mentor is like a trusted guide who can steer you away from common mistakes and help you focus on what really matters. Instead of figuring things out the hard way, they can show you the right path you can take and save you a lot of time and effort. A mentor brings more than just advice. They provide insider knowledge that you can't always find in textbooks or in online tutorials. They know the industry's best practices, the skills employers really value, and the tools you should focus on mastering. With their help, you can skip over the trial and error phase and go straight to the things that would actually make a difference and help you get that job. Having a mentor isn't just about learning technical skills, it's about having someone to help you grow faster and smarter. They can challenge you, teach you new perspectives, and even open up doors to opportunities that you might never have found on your own. Let me put it this way. Some of the best athletes in the world had mentors and coaches. Michael Jordan had a coach. Serena Williams had a coach. And I know for me, I've always had mentors throughout my career, and this is what allowed me to accelerate so quickly. Having a mentor for me has literally been a fast track to success. So if you want to speed up your cloud career and avoid unnecessary setbacks, finding a mentor is one of the best investments you can make. Now, have you ever wondered why your resume isn't getting that attention it deserves from recruiters? It may not be your skills alone, but rather how you're presenting them. Let's dive into the 7th mistake on our list, which is writing bad resumes, or specifically, not learning how to write a resume that captures a recruiter's attention. Listen, you can have all the skills and all the certifications and all the experience in the world, but if your resume isn't formatted properly or doesn't highlight the right things, it won't get noticed. Recruiters are busy and they only spend a few seconds scanning a resume. If they don't immediately see value in what you bring to the table, they'll just move on to the next candidates. So what should you do instead? You need to make sure your resume speaks directly to what recruiters are looking for. Start by highlighting your hands-on experience. Don't just list certifications. Show exactly what projects you've done with what technologies. Mention specific tools and skills that relate to the job you're applying for. I see a lot of people just list out the skills they have in a simple bullet point list. To make your resume stand out, you need to learn how to tell stories. Talk about the project in detail. What was the pain point? What were you trying to solve? What actions did you take? What was the outcome? Did you improve the scalability of the service? Did you reduce the cloud costs? Putting down the impacts of the projects is a surefire way to capture a recruiter's attention. A well-organized resume with the right keywords can make all the difference. Think about it as creating a roadmap that guides the recruiter straight to your strengths and achievements. Don't just tell them what you can do, show them with examples. It's not just about listing experiences, it's about demonstrating value. A solid resume will get you noticed and open up doors for interviews. Speaking of interviews, have you ever wondered why some candidates do really well in interviews while others don't? Well, this brings us nicely to the 8th and final mistake most beginners make. And this mistake is not preparing enough for interviews. Let's talk a bit more about that. Not learning how to prepare for interviews is a common mistake many cloud beginners make, and it can really cost you. Again, you might have all the technical skills, but if you can't talk about them effectively in an interview, you're missing out on a big opportunity. The reality is that interviews are a chance to demonstrate not just your skills, but your problem-solving abilities, how well you fit into the team, and how passionate you are about the role. Here's the problem. Without proper preparation, you might struggle to answer questions clearly, fail to explain how you've used your skills in real-world situations, or even get nervous and forget important points you wanted to make. This could leave the hiring manager doubting your abilities or commitment. So even if you're technically qualified, how you present yourself might prevent them from hiring you. So what should you do instead? The first thing is to research the company and the role in detail. Understand what cloud tools they use, what challenges they face, and how you can contribute. Practice answering common interview questions, specifically those related to your cloud skills and experience. I want you to prepare a few examples of your past projects which shows how you've tackled problems or worked with teams or even learned new technologies. And don't forget to practice explaining complex cloud concepts in a clear and easy to understand way. This will not only build your confidence, but also help you make a great first impression. This is one of the reasons where in our cloud program at cloudcareermentor.com, we focus on providing interview prep and mock interviews, because we know that the better prepared you are for interviews, the more likely you are to secure that cloud job offer. Remember, an interview is your perfect moment to shine. Proper preparation will help you stand out, impress hiring managers, and boost your chance of securing that cloud job. Now, if you've watched the video all the way to the end, it must mean that you're dedicated to breaking into the cloud industry. Now, what if I told you there was one simple thing you could do every day that would significantly improve your chance of getting hired? Are you curious to find out what it is? Well, click here now to find out what you can do every day to get hired. All right, I'll see you in the next one.